He's just bolted. There he is. We found him. He's not very relaxed. I think it's the same male from this morning. Let's just sit very quietly. Let's sit very quietly. He's busy growling at the car. I think he's quite hot and bothered. It is definitely a young male leopard. I think it's the same guy we found this morning. We were just turning the corner there, and Ferg's like, leopard, leopard, leopard. And yeah, it's the same guy. He's telling me, stop, don't come closer. And so we're going to respect that. We're going to stay right here. How beautiful is that? Hey, Ferg, we're on a roll today, sir. Okay, you didn't get a view of the face. Ferg, unfortunately, didn't quite get in on time, but he was looking at us as I was moving in, and he was having a bit of a growl. So we're just going to give him some space, let him move off into the shade there, and then we'll try and reposition again. That is incredible. It definitely looks like the same male from this morning, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to just try and move up a little bit, so we don't want to lose him, but without causing him any distress. Well done, Ferg. See what playing around with trees can do for you. Twice in one day. He was right next to the road. Well, pretty much. Norika, about the leopard that Tristan said broke the fight last night. This is the one, but we don't know who it is. I think some people were tweeting that there were pictures taken of it in Ngala, which is up the Kruger Park Timavati side, further north from here, in 2015, which would make this guy at least 3 years old. And he's small. He's a small cat. Very small leopard. Just moving off there. I think he's starting to relax a little bit. We're giving him some space. Not too concerned, really. How marvelous is that? There he goes. Look at that. Isn't he beautiful? You can definitely see it's a male. You see the genitals at the back. But don't you all agree, folks? It's a very small tom. That's why I wouldn't have thought it would have been older than a year and a bit by the size. But while we were trying to reposition, let's go over to Taylor McCurdy, who's got a Franklin. Yes, we are. He's not too bothered with us anymore. He gave me that initial, don't come any closer than that, and I didn't. And since then, hasn't given us much of a look. But a few squirrels were playing around in the little bushes to our left, and they got the fright of their lives and have since disappeared. But yet, they are not making an alarm call, which is why I don't really trust the squirrels for alarm calls, because there's a leopard right here, and they are not making a sound. Exactly. So we're going to see if we could try to keep up with him. He's going back into the thick stuff we followed him through this morning. And obviously we don't want to distress him too much with the crashing of branches and stuff. So let's see if we can just go around here. Try keep in the open. Try get in front of him so as we can get a nice sort of frontal shot without any vegetation in the way. Wouldn't that be marvelous? I think so. Well done, Ferg, for spotting him. Very impressed. Just walking through the long grass there. Sorry, Ferg, let me try to get in front, eh? Ivy Master, I don't think he weighs as much as a tom should weigh. I mean, he's small. He really is small. I'm trying to think now on the weight. He looks like he weighs the same as that of a female leopard. And just like that, he disappears into the long grass. He's just here somewhere, ladies and gentlemen. He's just here. He's just laid down, and he's invisible. Incredible. absolute masters of camouflage, stealth. He's in there somewhere. Remember, he did this morning, so I reckon he probably weighs about 45 kilograms, so 90 odd pounds, 100 pounds maybe. But that is an absolute guess. I do not know. Can you see him, Ferg? Fantastic. Okay. Look at those spots. How marvelous, ladies and gentlemen. Second time in one day. There we go. Our leopard searching has been very successful on our third day back at work, Ferg. Thank you for your assistance. Look at those spots, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't that just incredible how he's able to camouflage like that? We're going to stay with him, and maybe he'll move into a better position. But right now, I think he's just enjoying a little bit of the shade. Cenac leopards are very, very adept at hunting squirrels. They would hunt anything really that came along. Scrub hare, mongoose, anything really. Franklin. But they can physically catch squirrels. They are very, very good at it. And some leopards use it as sort of like play toys, for practice when they're younger. And I believe Tumba is quite a successful squirrel catcher. I think I heard that. Wow. Amelia, leopard cubs get taught to hunt by their mother. They also have the instinct in them. There's a lot of instinct driven. I mean, if any of you have got a domestic cat, you will know that from a young age, they're very good at catching things, very good at chasing things, very good at chasing balls and little laser lights that you might throw along the floor. And instinctively, they know how to hunt. But they also practice with mum. But a lot of it is instinct in the way that they just are. And then a lot of the takedown techniques and the killing technique is something that mum teaches them. Something that often youngsters don't really know how to do, the physical throttle or choke that they ends up dispatching the animal to at the end, but they're always very easy or able to catch something. And then once they've caught it and stopped moving, they're not quite sure what to do about it. Safari Heart, I have no idea how many leopards this area can support, but it just keeps going on and on and on. More leopards, more leopards. I really have no idea. I don't think anybody knows how many leopards the Sabi Sands can actually hold, but we just keep seeming to find them. And we can obviously know about the territorial males and females, but it's impossible to know about the sort of interlopers or young males or females moving through the territories of others. I mean, for example, we might see this male today, he might pass on through, and we might never see him again. And where he ends up, who knows? So I'm really enjoying my time here and seeing how dynamic and diverse the leopard sort of population can be and how many individuals we see at any given time. I mean, the first time I saw the Shadulu female was actually right here where we are. Right here, just on the corner of the road we just found him on. So they seem to have sort of thoroughfares that they go through, especially the youngsters. They sort of feel a way through and then move along that sort of line. Just moving in the long grass there. Doing a little bit of grooming. I'm sorry we can't get a better shot than this, folks, but this is as much pressure as I want to put on this youngster. He's not showing any more signs of being upset, so we're doing a good job. He's getting used to my calm and soothing voice. And it's important to be sensitive like this, otherwise you just chase them and you'll never see them. So by being relaxed, getting used to the fact that there is a vehicle. What is that big smelling petrol vehicle? There he's moving again. He's coming straight towards us now, folks. Get your screenshots ready. There we go. How marvelous. See, if this was not relaxed, it would not be behaving like this. It would have run away, would have skulked away. You can see how easily it could have disappeared from us now. There's the money shot. There's the money shot. Can we go a little bit wider there, Fergie? You're good, eh? Fantastic. It's only about 3 meters in front of the car now. There's the beautiful face. Sorry if my head gets in the way. Please, folks, take your screenshots. Hashtag Safari Live. Tag me in it. Tag Tristan. Tag Taylor. Add this to our diversity of leopards in the area. So cool to see him moving now. That's why you don't expect to see a cat moving at this time of day, because it is still quite hot. Now, I will try and stay with him for as long as I can. Obviously, if it gets too thick and we become quite difficult, but the longer we can stay with him, the more sort of relaxed he gets to the vehicle, the movement, the noises. But as you could see, he was quite relaxed walking past there. An unrelaxed leopard we wouldn't even see. Just hold on, I'm just going to talk on the radio. Standing by, yours. That's affirmative. Just if you go onto Rebecca's from Philemon's Cutline and Mendoza, just go up Rebecca's. We're just northeast of the road now, or of that junction. Okay, we're just going to go over to Taylor while we try relocate. Just behind this pig. He's coming up behind. He's coming up behind. Watch very closely, folks. He's about 3 meters behind this warthog. He's to the left of it, Ferg. He's just behind that bush. Okay, folks, so just pay very careful attention. I'm not going to make too much noise now. We could see something dramatic. There is a small family of pigs. He's just crouched down in the long grass. Behind, I can't even see him anymore, but he was moving straight towards these animals. Okay, so the right is moving towards him. Pay attention. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We have a leopard, a young male leopard who has got his eyes locked on a small family of warthog. We're not going to leave the action. The leopard is about 3-4 meters away. There he is. He's in the shade. He's in perfect cover. There's 2 warthogs here, adults with a very small little baby. And I've no doubt he's going to lock his eyes on the baby. He's paying attention. Look at that. This is unbelievable. We're coming to you live from Djuma in the Sabi Sands. This is a young male leopard we have never seen before. We saw him for the first time last night and then again this morning. And everyone in South Africa, those who'd like to visit South Africa, this is the Sabi Sands. And this is what we see on a regular basis. The diversity of leopards in this area, in the Sabi Sands, are fantastic. And as I said, we've never seen this male before. Last night, new male moving through. There's some warthogs. They are the primary food, or one of the primary foods of, oh no, pay attention, pay attention. Oh no, that baby. Anita says, let's see if he's going to go for it. He's moving. He might miss his chance. Look at the intention on his eyes. We are watching this live from a game viewer in the South African bush. This is what people come here for. One of the greatest tourist destinations in South Africa, and the best for seeing the wild African leopard. Hello from Santorini, California, Australia. Welcome to the show. This is 100% live. I'm not going to move a muscle. He's going. He's got it. Oh, he's missed it. He's come back. Ladies and gentlemen, that just happened live. Let's go see if he catches this little pig. Unfortunately, and my name is Steve Falconbridge. I'm joined by Ferg on camera. Terribly sorry that we are moving so quickly. The excitement is fantastic. Let's see if he's managed to catch this little pig. It was moving very, very quickly. There he goes. Ah, he missed it, folks. He missed it. He is just here in the long grass. I don't know who was more tense during that moment, the warthog or myself. But here he is. That little piggy did an absolutely amazing little run. Go, little piggy. I don't know how many of you were cheering him or her. Made a little squeal. Fantastic. Folks, this is coming to 100% live from South Africa, where the leopards are diverse in the Sabi Sands. Magical, magical, magical. Yes, indeed, everybody. This is amazing. And we are here on our own, just me and Fergus. How fantastic was that? Oof, my heart is absolutely pounding in the back of my head. Ellen, Singita, 1997, 98. I used to work there. Marvelous place. I'm sure you saw a ton of leopards. I am sure you took lots of photos. And you got the leopards nice and close. Sabi Sands is, or Singita is in the Sabi Sands, one of the properties anyway. And that is not far from where we are. It's a little bit further south. We still have this male leopard moving through here. He's just going around there. Maybe he's not done with his warthogs for the day. Fantastic. Those of you might be wondering why I'm wearing goggles around my neck. We are launching a Dive Live segment this afternoon, directly after our game drive from the Grand Cayman Islands, where our director, Graham Wallington, is going to be diving live just for you. How fantastic is that? There he is. Ferg, should we go around this way? Okay, folks, so we're just going to try one more little loop around here to see if we can get you a visual of his face, because he's a very pretty young male. Siam, the leopard does not want tofu. Tofu is for vegetarians, and leopards are 100% carnivores in the order Carnivora. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we might have lost sight of him for the moment. So we are going to bid you all adieu. And if you'd like to continue watching our show, please just Google Safari Live, where the action never stops. Have a good afternoon. Folks, how incredible was that? I'm speechless. I'm absolutely speechless. Just hope we haven't lost him now in all of that. He is probably just lying just here in the long grass. If I don't stall my car, we'll be able to find him. It's a rather large hole on my right, so I apologize to this little bush that I'm going to have to push over. I last saw him just in here. Oh no, Fergus, have we lost him? He is a very good camouflage expert. Very, very good. But he's also got the habit of, as we follow him around a bush, of going the other way. And there you hear the Franklin's alarm calling now. I wonder if they've spotted him, Ferg. Seems to sound like it, eh? There he goes. So that's why listening to the alarm calls of the bush are so important. Franklin up in the tree, leopard in the road. Thank you, birds, for your undying support in finding our spotted friends. Oh, isn't that glorious? I am super excited. I have no idea what to say about what we've just witnessed. No idea what we just witnessed. And I didn't get to see it very well on the screen because It happened so fast. Ferg, did you manage to capture that whole backwards and forwards motion? Nix is saying you did, so well done, Mr. Fergus. Well done. That is what we call the money shot. Okay, so let's get a shot of him walking through the long grass. Just got a thorn in his foot. Isn't that beautiful? You see, that's why we listen to Franklins more than squirrels. Because it's very obvious when we saw those squirrels earlier that they didn't make a sound, but the Franklin, very reliable. But while we catch up with this beautiful male leopard, let's go back over to Tristan and see what exciting news he has for us. I am, Tristan. I am so over the moon with what we nearly saw, or what we actually saw, should I say. I mean, I'm quite happy for the pig at the end of the day. It did the most amazing about turn 360. I thought it had it, hey, Ferg? I would love to see the replay of what we saw there, because he was right on the bottom of that warthog, and it managed to turn, and just the acceleration of it. So you can see how fast the leopard is, but with the hooves on these hooved animals gives them a lot more sort of the purchase on the ground, rather than the pads on the leopards, which give them the silent walking. The hooves give them much harder purchase on the ground, which means they can push off with a little bit more force. And I think that pig was running with everything it had. Absolutely everything that it had. Eloise, what happened there with the chase is that if it got it on the first attempt, it would have obviously stopped. But if it had got away, you saw how when the pigs were moving off, if the pigs hadn't moved off and the leopard had got closer, it would have allowed it to do a really quick dart over about 15, 20 meters. That's generally like the attack distance. But the pigs moved off a bit. He had to run through the long grass, and because he'd committed, then he got a bit tired on that second about turn, and he wasn't running for his life. He was running just for food, whereas the warthog was running for its life. So there's a lot more energy and also, what's the right word, motivation behind the warthog's escape than the leopard's feeding. So the leopard can always hunt another day, but that for me is the best and most incredible leopard chase I've ever seen. I've never ever seen a leopard chase something and pull it down. I've seen them stalk and then kill something in the thick bush, but we just happened to be in such a nice open area which facilitated the leopard getting closer, but also the fact that Ferg could turn the camera back and forward again to get not only the left leg but the right leg of the chase, which to me was absolutely fantastic. I'm still over the moon. Ferg, what are your comments? Ferg just grunted. He went, very good. First lady predators miss their prey a lot, most of the time. I think wild dogs probably got the top with regards to predator success. They're quite high up, probably in the 80s. But I would say leopards miss 3-4 out of 5. Maybe less. It depends on the leopard, depends on experience. Obviously, with age comes experience and condition of animals also, not just the animal itself, but the animals they're chasing. When drought conditions come in, the ambush specialists are more successful because animals are forced to come to the water. And if a leopard or a lion is very patient, it can pay off for them. But the success of these predators is actually far lower than most people think. But then they only need to eat every week or two a proper meal. They will eat more if they can, but they don't need to be as successful as catching all the time. But then sometimes you can be with a leopard and it kills 2 or 3 times in a morning. I was once with a lioness that killed 6 times in the space of 2 hours, but that was the fact of impala just constantly coming down to this last puddle of water, and it would wait and wait and wait until individuals came down, and then it would take them out. When they came in groups, it would just wait. So it's tactics, it's experience. Rob, I'm not sure when he'd hunt again. The thing is, the opportunity, if it arises, he will do something. If something materialized nearby him now, he would probably make a move for it. But he's probably going to wait until it cools down again. I think he's quite tired now after that little sprint. You can see he's walked off a few hundred meters away from where he had that warthog sprint. And it seems to me like he's quite hungry. But, you know, they're opportunists. They will hunt at any time if any opportunity presents itself. Okay, so from our young leopard, let's go over to my favorite young leopard, who is with Taylor. Thanks, Taylor. How marvelous is that we've got two young male leopards, a famous leopard by the name of Hosanna and a debutante in the name of, I don't know what he's called at the moment. I have no idea. Whether we're going to see him again after today is debatable. We are now down in the southwest corner of Djuma, so we're not very far from the boundaries that he could cross over quite easily into Simbambili, and Arathusa, or even Little Gowrie. Anu, if male leopards come across each other, there can always potentially be a fight. But young leopards don't have a territory, so there's nothing to fight for at the time. So what you will see, and it's something I saw for the first time when I was actually on my interview here, was Hosanna, who is with Taylor at the moment, came into sighting with her father, who's Tingana, a big male leopard, who was for quite a while the dominant leopard all through this area. And Tingana displayed himself, and he sat low, he opened his mouth, he drooled a bit, and he growled a very deep warning to Hosanna. And as soon as Hosanna heard him or saw him, he behaved like a very nonchalant sort of young leopard and almost quite playful. So his behavior was very submissive. He didn't show any sign of aggression or any sign of physical dominance towards the other male. So the male just leaves him alone. But there's no eye contact. Leopards don't look at each other unless they really seriously want to have a go at each other. So eye contact to them is everything. So this young male leopard would... But that's the thing is now, I don't even know how young he is. Apparently by the photos, you know, he's over 3 years old, which to me is incredible for the size. So a lot of what leopards do is posturing, and size is one of the biggest things that prevent other males from fighting each other. You're going to avoid fighting against someone who's bigger than you. And if someone's twice your size, you're going to rather fight or live to fight another day. I'm sure you all agree. Ferg has just made a comment, and just for the books, ladies and gentlemen, this comment comes from Ferg. He says, maybe we should call this little leopard James Henry. Fergus, you cheeky boy. I hope James is watching out there. And Ferg says he can say that because he's of similar stature. So small people do get on in life still. Small people are more successful. So a dewlap in a leopard is definitely bigger in a larger male leopard. I didn't even see one in this guy when I saw him. So I've never seen a leopard of this size if he's that age. So that to me is quite strange. I was even asking Tristan, I said, how can he be 3 at his size? He says he's just a small leopard, so maybe he comes from that sort of genetic stock. I really don't know. Maybe Tristan's the best one to ask those sort of questions too. His knowledge on leopards of the sands and on leopards in general is far superior to mine. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to stay here with this young male leopard, and while we do that, let's go back over to Taylor and see if she's managed to find Hosanna. Yes, we do. Sorry about the aerial there. Look how beautiful he is. He's just moving away from us into the setting sun. Terribly sorry about the aerial. I'm just going to turn the car slightly so we can get it out of shot. find my gear, that is. There he goes, he's definitely... You happy there, Ferg? Definitely smelling something. Probably the movement of other leopards. Very unfortunate, but we're nearly right on our western boundary now. So it looks like he's going to head straight for it. Not that he cares for our boundaries, but obviously we'd like to spend some more time with this beautiful cat. Do you not agree, ladies and gentlemen? Let's try and get around here so we can get in front of him again for you. There he goes. Watch out, Fergie. Here comes the branch. Simple leaf, very silver in colour. It's just through there. I think he's going to come and say hello now. Okay, he's lying down, so all good. Okay, while we sit with this male leopard for a little bit longer, as he's licking himself, I think we might go back over to Taylor to see if Hosana is managing to get any closer to those impala. Very much, Taylor. He has decided to lie down and have a little bit of a rest. What a beautiful male. We're finally getting some really nice facials of him. You can see the right-hand side's got those 3 spots with the one on the top. And then the other side is also 3 with the dot on top. And he's got a very nice double scar on his nose. And look at the bottom of his right eye. It's also got a nice little scar there. So it would be very easy to identify with his size as well. It would make him very easy to identify amongst the other males. I mean, I initially confused him with Shadulu this morning because of those spots. But she's got 5 and 1 on top. But looking at the throat, you can see there's no real dewlap there. No real size in his neck at all. And a beautiful pink nose. You can actually see that scar across the eye is also joined under the eye in a sort of sweeping motion. It would have been most likely from a fight. Ah, beautiful. He's having a little cat nap. A bit of snakebite bush in the foreground. He kind of looked at me and said, "What kind of bush?" First Lady, he's probably about as far away from Hosana at the moment as he can be. Just listening on the radio, I can show you on the map here where we are, and then I can show you whereabouts I've been hearing where Taylor is. We're right over here, in the bottom corner over here, and they are here somewhere. I'm not sure where exactly, but here somewhere on Mumba Road. And we're right here in the bottom corner. I can actually see the boundary just here, only about 50 meters or so. So we are not very far away from him eluding us and going west into Simbambili and Arathusa. Here is the sun setting. What a terrible job we have, Fergus, don't you think? We have a terrible job. Let's go back to the leopard. Emily Konu, I've never seen 2 leopards go for the same prey. I have watched video footage of it. I've never seen it live. But there is lots of evidence here, and a lot of the viewers have told me, because I've said things like that to them before, and they've seen more than one animal eating off of a carcass. I think Tingana and Hosana and maybe Tamba or someone else, I'm sure the viewers will correct me, eating off the same kill, which to me seems completely just never heard of before in my vocabulary, but or in my experience. But then I haven't worked for that extensive amount of time in the Sabi Sands, and in this area, the dynamics, and not just the dynamics, but the actual sightings that the guys managed to get here is just world class. Everywhere. Ooh, I just swallowed a bug. Sorry about that. Everywhere else in the world that I've worked, not in the world, but in South Africa that I've worked, the leopards have never been that relaxed. And if you have managed to follow one for a while, the topography and the terrain has just limited it. So you haven't been able to follow them for too long. So my experience before coming to the Sabi Sands with following leopards and spending time with them is quite limited. But I'm sure Tristan has seen all sorts of weird and wonderful things in his many years here in the Sabi Sands. And Taylor herself has been here for quite some time. And the stories that I've heard around the campfire, the leopards here just do things that are not really written in books. So I'm seriously thinking of compiling some form of scientific journal on how the leopards of this sort of area are doing what they're doing and how they're doing it. Oh yes, Eloise, leopards will most certainly hunt monkeys. Monkeys are one of the most sort of, what's the right word, reliable indicators of a leopard, because they really are afraid of them. There's a documentary out there done by the Djubes of a leopard that actually teaches its daughter how to hunt monkeys, and the footage is unbelievable. I've never seen it live, but a colleague of mine was in the Sabi Sands a few years ago and took footage of a leopard going up a marula tree and actually physically smashing the monkey out of the top branches. It was incredible to see how fast it moved through the tree and the distance it covered. I mean, the monkeys are extremely fast up a tree, but when a leopard goes up the tree, it's almost unparalleled in the ability up there. So monkeys, when you hear them alarm calling, very reliable indicators, because leopards are terrified. Monkeys are terrified of leopards. Okay, so our flat cat is flat, still in our area though, which is great. So let's go back over to Taylor and see what the little chief is up to. Afternoon and a welcome to you. You are fantastically welcome on this afternoon's Game Drive Safari, Peter Lowhead School from the USA. Welcome, my name is Steve Falconbridge and I'm joined by Ferg on camera, and we are in Djuma, in the Sabi Sands, in a wonderful afternoon. The sun is setting and we have got a leopard lying down in the grass. Let's go to him, Fergs. How marvelous is that? It is a young male leopard that we only found last night for the first time. We have not seen him before, and we've been with him for the better part of the last hour and a half. You might wonder why I was wearing some goggles on my neck, and that is because we are marketing our Dive Live segment, which is going live directly after our safari this afternoon, where our CEO and director is going to be diving live at Dive Live for the first time internationally for you to see and to enjoy. So make sure you check that out. But here we are with a young male leopard who's lying very flat. We spent some time with him earlier where he stalked and nearly killed a baby warthog. It was absolutely marvelous to see, but unfortunately, or fortunately for the young warthog, it missed. And Naga, you'd like to know what type of endangered species? Well, leopards are actually regarded as vulnerable on the ICU list, as well as lions. We have both of them here. Cheetah as well as wild dog. Wild dog and cheetah are probably the most endangered carnivores on the African continent. There's also a number of birds, including the ground hornbill. And I'm trying to think what else there might be. But the leopard is not endangered, but it is regarded as vulnerable. And then also further up in Africa, the African elephant is regarded as vulnerable. And down here in South Africa, obviously, the white rhino is on the vulnerable endangered list. Rajvi, a very good question for the wildlife side of things. What is the major reason why animals become endangered? And I'll tell you categorically, it's got to do with humans and our encroachment on the animal's habitat. So we are growing food, we are growing agriculture, we are plowing for cows and fields and development and rural development and roads and dams, and all of this is leading to the loss of habitat. And what animals need to survive is not just food, but the habitat in which to live. Because what you see there, okay, we're going to go from the ground up. The leopard is lying on the soil. The soil is providing the grass with the nutrients that it needs to provide the food that the herbivore animals need to feed on. Lots and lots of herbivore animals, such as buffalo and zebra and wildebeest and impala. And then those animals, including the warthog, provide the meat which the leopards and the lions need to survive. So if you take away the grass, then you lose the animals, and then you lose the predators, and the whole system collapses. So from me on this side, we're going to quickly go over to my friend Tristan Dix, who would also like to say good evening. Yes, here we have got our male leopard, and he is moving west towards our boundary, unfortunately. If he does cross that, just like Taylor, we won't be able to follow. Sorry about the back of my vehicle there. We are on a game viewer in the middle of the bush, following this leopard, and he is going to cross our boundary road in the next 30 seconds to a minute, which is very unfortunate, but we will do what we can. Catch up with him till that point. Hold on there, Ferg. We just need to go around these bushes really quickly. Hold on. Stations, this young male is about to cross onto Triple M. Mrs. White, why do these animals not attack humans? Well, essentially, they become quite habituated, sorry, Ferg, to the vehicle. Oh, sorry. And they don't actually see us as human in the car. If we were on foot, though, it would be a different story. I'm not saying he's going to attack us, but what's going to happen, essentially, see, here is one of our management roads. This is our boundary. This is Djuma on the right and Triple or Arathusa on the left, another private game reserve within the Sabi Sands. So you see how he looks at us there? He just sees us as a big vehicle, a big box. He's quite a young male. He's used to cars as long as you give him space. But if I had to hound him and chase him and push the car really, really close to him, then he would react negatively. And that negative behavior could be to run away or could be to attack me in the car. So you've got to respect these animals. They are wild animals. They are not tame in any way. But on foot, if I happen to see this leopard, he would probably run away long before I even saw him. Often what you see is just the little flitter of them in the long grass as they disappear. Isn't this marvelous? Just going to tell the other vehicles on the radio so that they can come if they want to. Stations, this young Madora Ingwe is mobile north on Triple M. I know there was a vehicle standing by on the road just a moment ago to see if they could see him, but they weren't allowed into our side. Just like we are not allowed to go into their side. But isn't this marvelous, ladies and gentlemen? Walking along, boys and girls, walking along one of the management roads. Let's have a look at him. There we go. I'm going to maybe try to get in front of him. Ferg, how does that sound? Just going to talk on the radio again. Standing by. Triple M boundary. He's mobile north in the road currently, 300 meters north of the southern boundary. There he's going to go. We have thwarted it. That is okay. Let's get the last look as he disappears into Arathusa. How marvelous is that? There he goes. Into the setting sun. The golden rays of the African evening descending on South Africa. must be quite confusing for some of you who've just woken up and are getting the morning rays. We are getting the setting rays. Isn't that a glorious picture? Okay, well, we're going to lose sight of this male leopard here. We're going to go back over to Tristan, who's at Chitwa Dam, and let's see what interesting information he has for you.